Oh. Right. Good old Lincoln Green. Right, okay, so customer wants me to get the rear quarters done on this car, including shoddy bits like this, which really is just, I think that might be the Guardian there. Oh look, there's definitely a bit of newspaper there, look at that, beautiful. Yes, so we've got newspaper, fantastic. We've got papier-mâché. I'll be able to date that shortly, let you know what it is we are reading. I was going to take the fuel filler out, get that stripped back, prepped and de-rusted, take this corner off, strip it back, see what sort of condition it's in, prep it, and then when it comes to this, all I'm really going to do here is I'm going to take all of this lot off. I'm going to get a wire cut brush and see what's going on underneath here. It doesn't look right. There's a fair chance my asthma is giving me grief today, sorry. You can see there's all manner of shit going on in here. So yes, I'm going to do one side at a time really. Well, until you start picking at these things, you don't really know what you're going to find. Well, I think we do know what we're going to find, don't we? Yes. The fuel filler really is just held on with these nuts here, but what I'm going to do, because there's so much mud on the back here, I'll be careful of these panels by the way, because basically it is single skinned. I am being careful, don't worry. I'm just going to clean the end of each of these threads up first and foremost with the wire cup drill, which I've got, a wire brush drill, which is right here. Let's see if this helps. The nuts are plastic, so they should come off in your hand. That's a lot easier now. Less likely to be recutting the thread on the plastic nut here. And once this is all apart, then I can really work on the rest of the wing. It's not a job I've been looking forward to, this one, because I just know when I start digging into it, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. But then it's going to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And I'm looking at this corner. This corner might be a bridge too far. It might have just too much filler in it. We'll see. There we go. And we are outie, look out face. So that's got the entire filler out, complete with its bog seat. I shall sort that out a bit later on. What I'm going to do is put all these fixings into a small container, and then later on do these nuts along here. Holy fucking shit. Filler here, by the way, was about 1 centimetre thick. Yes. I'm going to have a coffee. Furthermore, might have found another problem here. Look at the way that the glass moves separately. The whole of the curtain here has no real strength to it. So I think the sidey slidey needs to come out. I'm going to get this D cover off, the plastic on these things, it never survives, unfortunately. But we're facing that on the inside here. And again, if I push this, you can see that there's nothing really under here that's connecting it. Customer's given me the go-ahead really to start cutting this thing apart, but I think a couple of explorations, I'm going to end up replacing the arch and the floor on this. Slidies out. Let's do it. It's got to... I knew it was going to be a big job moving from the B-post to the back of the car, and this was never part of the original remit. And other silly things, like these nice wheel arches here. You know? You see where I'm going with this? It's made out of fucking tinfoil. This is not how you restore a car. I don't know what fucking gauge of steel that is. That's like a 22 gauge steel there. Poor fucking car. What do you let yourself in for? Took the D-post cover off, as you can see here. I'll zip wheel this all back. Needs rust treating. Nothing really connecting most of the glass frame to the rail. Certainly up to about here, I don't believe. So that's all going to have to come apart. Then I started looking, really, well, I didn't really notice that many problems on the inside. So I've emptied the boot out. You start looking around here. Well, if you don't know what you're looking for, you might think, it's just a bit grubby here and there. But no, I can tell you that is about centimetres deep in filler, like this shit down here. This car's going to ride about an inch higher, I reckon. I'll time all this filler's out of here. I mean, just look at it all. Just all filler over edges of steel. So it's all going to get cut out. Whole fucking lot. I've had enough of it. Slidey out really first, but I wanted to do some exploratory cutting. Let's take the light, Dale's light, out of the way. Exploratory cutting. I can go up there. Very useful at that, you see. Look at that. Maybe take this panel off and see what's going on behind it. So if I cut along the top here and two cuts going down, we'll peel it away and see what's going on. Similarly over here. I need to do it really without videoing, folks, because otherwise I'm not concentrating on the sparks, am I? No, Richard, you're not. And then when I know where I'm going with this, I don't think this is going to put up too much resistance, actually. I really don't. When I know where I'm going with it, so first panel I've cut off. That's the original panel there. You can see how it's rotted away at the base. And then on the inside, it's all filler. The whole fucking lot. Like it is down here. Yeah, so I'm going to get in here with the reciprocating saw, I think, and just go through the whole damn thing. I'm going to cut as close to the bottom of this panel as I can. That's the original lip for the wheel arch. I'm going to try and cut below that if I can. Oh God. Nice bit of welding that. So you saw most of that I was able to actually just tear out. All of that weld there, just there was only like a centimetre of it that was any good. None of the arch was welded onto the floor, it was pot riveted, as you can see here. So it looks like an original arch, possibly. Although you couldn't really tell because it's just full of filler. Right, so now we've got all that shit out of the way, I'm going to need to get the box, the seat box off at the front there and make another one of those. It's going to need one on each side really, isn't it? And then tidy up these edges, new floor arch, and we'll probably get away with the lower part of the curtain. But all of these captive nuts here, they're looking in a bit of a state. So slidey needs to come out next, and which is fairly straightforward. You can watch. Come and stand over here, you can watch. I want you to keep out of the way. Behave yourselves, don't touch anything. You'll be alright. Right. Yeah, there's quite a bit of filler on the floor here. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The slidey window comes out dead easy. What you need to do is get rid of the two plastic channels and then close the window as tight as it will go and lift it off the frame and down. Slidey out. To get the rear window out, I need to get the stainless trim off first and foremost. There is a screw here, and they never ever undo. They're normally seized up solid. So what I'm probably going to end up having to do here is undo all the nuts underneath this stainless trim that actually sit on the inside of this box section, which you can see is heavily compromised from one end to the other. And then lastly, there's a piece of trim up here. You can get these felts new. If you can get them out intact, it's going to save you the money for doing that. And they normally come out intact. This one's thinking about it. Just thinking quite hard about it. There's a piece of trim that goes in here, which looks almost exactly bugger. My wife called up and I forgot to turn the camera back on and then got on with pulling the windows out, and I forgot to show you how. Underneath this stainless trim there's a whole load of nuts. The majority of them will be seized up solid, but I managed to get 5 out. I'll show you the trick I used to get everything back on again afterwards. When you've got all the nuts out, you need to prise this bit away. It will be trying to come out of this lip, and ideally you don't want it to come out of this lip unless you absolutely have to. That then gives you this channel here. If you knock, clankety fucking clank, if you knock this weather strip off the edge of the glass first, then getting hold of the glass firmly with 2 hands, you pull it this way and it will go down this piece. Glass comes out from the inside dead easily. Now we've done that, the rest of this frame, holy fucking shit, will come out. The only bit that will not come out at the moment, that's not good, is it? I think when it comes to that's not good, I think we're at the top of the that's not good scale here. And I think what's happened here is that has just collected moisture. Look, there's nothing on there at all. See, the only one I've broken off is that one. These two I'll be able to recover. Now up here and inside this, and this piece came out in 5 bits, by the way, so I need to get another one of those. It's not unusual, as Tom Jones would have said, and I think it's been out already once before, but it's as brittle as anything. So basically when you're trying to take it out, that bit's all nice and subtle. There were bits of it, you see, it just snapping. Now, next I just need to get out these chappies up here, and then the filler can be separated from the sidey-slidey channel, and we can work out what the fuck we're going to do. Look, that was a funny noise there, Richard. We're going to work out what the fuck we're going to do with this thing. Now, somewhat disappointingly, let me go in here, clankety clankety clank, clank clank. Somewhat disappointingly, you can see down here, this is the B post. So while they put a new sill on it, they haven't fixed all the rot on the B post. So I know John's going to go nuts about that. This section, you can see all the filler as well that was in here. This is all filler. I'll knock all that off in a minute. So that's a new floor section. Okay. LR1238 offside. That's a new sill and a new mounting with all the pigeon snot all over it, which I'll probably just be able to knock off with a hammer. This box section I'll need to remake. That's not really a problem. It's what I do about the curtain. Whether I replace the entire curtain along with the floor and the arch, or whether, because the problem is the curtain won't actually replace that rusty section up there. But we might need to replace this entire lip anyway. And I did that with Bob. Disappointingly, you've seen I've managed to basically just pull most of these patches off. They just pulled away. Yeah, if you're going to fit these panels on, chaps, try to fit them on with something a bit more robust than pigeon snot, chewing gum and filler. I don't know who did this, but yeah, probably not their best work. And here, this is fairly typical rot up here. This I've seen many times before, this area rotting. I've not seen it go quite to that extent. That really has gone quite a long way along there. A lot of this will just clean up. Now, because of the welding around here, I'm starting to have my doubts about the welding at this end. Now, hopefully, someone half competent has done this bit here, because as you notice, that piece down there, I don't know if you saw it in the time lapse or whatever it was, that wasn't even welded on there. That was just stuck on with filler. And as you can see here, most of this is filler too. So I'll probably be able to pull that patch off. It's all a bit of a fuck up, really. The main part of the curtain, so if I look at the curtain above this sort of line here, and certainly most of this section is actually in quite good order. When it gets to here, then the filler has kind of trapped the moisture in, which has rotted it out. This is all the pigeon snot that I was just able to tear away. That's the original closing panel there. Which I can take off in a minute. For some reason they've left it in place when they replace the sill, and it normally butts onto the sill. In fact, there's a piece of pigeon snotted on metal there, so I can drill the spot welds here, and hopefully the lip on the back of the B post will still be there. A filler, yes, known for its structural properties. At least it's not papier-mâché, and that's the back there of that seat box. So the seat box is here. Can you imagine though, I mean, bearing in mind that whole floor section really was not welded in, and I was able to pull it out with my bare hands, or I could crush a grape. Wasn't a lot of strength in that, really, was there? No. Right, let's get this top rail out, and then I can 2. Three. 6. Want to go 4 and can't get that one. Come on, you bastard. Goes. Right, now this top rail should now become 8. Okay. And now, with that out, I should be able to pull the entire sliding out with its stainless channel. We'll go inside the car actually. Go in. The more I look along here, let's see, hole. There's holes all the way along here. Another hole there, just push through all the way along here. So really this whole rail wants to be chopped out and go back in again. So what I would probably do, use my reciprocating saw just to cut straight down and leave that piece on the car, so it gives me a reference point. I'll take it off when I'm ready to re-weld something back on, but just as a temporary reference point. And again, there'll be a load of spot welds down this line here, and they need drilling out. And I think that's going to be my approach. Do it. Right, that's off. So's that now. And I've actually left the seat support in place in the car, complete with all its filler. Another big lump of metal there. Right, now I need to do this end. Spot welds. Run out of bloody battery just as that panel fell off. So what I need to do, just plugging this battery in. Most of these are already loose. I can see them wiggling around. There's a big lump of filler there, followed by a patch underneath it. Oh. Ha! He's off. He's off. And he's off. Came off okay, no problems at all. It's come off in multiple bits. This is an original panel here, as you can see. It's probably been an original panel for just a little bit too long. The skim of filler over the outside of it really didn't help. But anyway, the good news is the B post that's behind it is actually in fairly good order. The bad news is that the sill wasn't actually attached to it. It was attached here, so I cut through a blob of weld there. None of this was, oh sorry, this piece here and down there, so it's 2 blobs there. And here, there was only 1 blob there. Because once I cut that off, the rest of it just fell off onto the floor. Was it that bit? Wasn't really even attached. So that was not welded to the sill. As you can see, it fell off. Where I am now is in a bit of a mess, really. It's not a mess that I can't fix, but at the moment I know where the B post needs to go to. But you can see it's got a fair amount of flex around all over the place. So before I cut any more on this, I need to find some way of securing the location of the B post relative to the top of the sill. So what I'm inclined to do, first and foremost, I can put a square against the corner here and mark across the top of the sill, so I know where the back edge of this needs to go to. And then I can further clean up, weld in repair sections and so forth. and then really weld the thing to the sill properly. Now, I did actually start looking at this, and bearing in mind the quality of the other repairs that I've seen around and about on this car, and I'm looking at that piece on the bottom of the A-post now thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, I didn't actually dig into that. I'm actually thinking that I'm just going to take the bottom of the B-post off, and when it's off I can actually rebuild it from scratch, because at the moment I've got no confidence in anything on this body shell. When you find lumps of filler, structural filler, yes, it doesn't fill me with joy, I'll be honest. So yeah, I'm going to cut the whole real bottom end of this thing off and remake it from scratch. And I think it's going to be the only way. If we got this far into this body shell, it seems futile really leaving shit like that attached to it still. And that then kind of more or less makes my mind up on this shit as well. So we're looking into the back of the goalpost, and this is just, I've said it a couple of times, but this is just shit. And this piece of metal here didn't really put up a lot of a fight coming off. God help whoever did this. Honestly, hang up your welding torch. Sorry, hang up your soldering iron, because you really shouldn't be repairing cars like this and leaving this sort of shit covered up with newspaper and fucking filler. It's shocking. It is shocking. Shockingly shite. I can't help but think, had this customer driven this over a speed bump, how much of it would have just fallen off and onto the road? And when we're looking at this is the rear wheel arch here. It's an original arch which has got extra pieces of metal glued onto it. Very, very, very thin metal. This is like 22 gauge. It's like tinfoil. And then filler joining it up. And then that was attached to a new floor section, because that is actually not an old floor section, a new floor section. It was pop riveted to it, and then filler was applied to the gaps. And the only place I've found any weld whatsoever on this entire surround, and I can prove this by taking the torch out of it. Can you see anywhere along that lip where it might have been welded? Nope. I can see where there's weld, but I can't see anywhere where it's been welded. So, yeah, it's just fucking awful. And then the curtain, which is out here, and again, you can't see where I've used a cutting disc anywhere around here. I've literally just pulled these patches off all the way around, and then copious amounts of filler. I have spoken to the owner about this, and he has resigned to me kind of spending a shitload of time now getting these side curtains replaced and the floor put in. But now having to redo the base of the B-post. And this was a car that came to him, if you remember rightly, when I was doing the A-posts on this thing. And let's just go back and reflect on the A-post. So this was the passenger side A-post. Similar repairs, lots of filler, lots of pigeon snot, lots of papier-mâché. Yeah, I kept that really because I just wanted to remind me and the customer where this car's come from, the area that we've been dealing with. And it strikes me now that anything that really hasn't been fucked around with by the previous, and I'm not even going to use the word restorer, but by the previous bodger, any part that hasn't been fucked around with by the previous bodger, I'm inclined to say, actually, do you know what, that's not bad. So bits like this, do you know what, that's not bad, I can fix that. But all of this shit down here means I've just got to unpick it all and redo it. all of that shit down there means I've just got to unpick it all and redo it.